Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm in my office this morning because I am going through all of my seeds. This is a very large and not very organized box of seeds, but I really wanted to keep getting some seeds in the ground, keep getting some plants in the ground to fill out the garden and just have some plants kind of ready for me. It's kind of coming towards the end of summer here, and in my mind I'm not really thinking that because where we used to live in the subtropics, the heat would just go on and on for another few more months. But I'm kind of starting to get into my head what I could maybe start to grow for the coming autumn months, because the temperatures here are a lot more mild than they were up in Brisbane. We're not really getting up to 30 degrees in any of the days. It's kind of staying around more like 24 degrees as a maximum, which is so beautiful. And it actually makes it really easy to plant a lot more plants and a lot more variety of foods that I personally really like to grow. So I'm going to go through some of these seeds that I have here. I also don't really have a lot of equipment to start these seeds right now, so I've been saving different containers and things, and my parents have been saving them from when they were here for a little bit to be able to start seeds in. So I'm going to be a little bit limited on how much I can grow, but I'm also kind of limited in the space that I have prepared right now. I think I'm definitely going to be starting some lettuce because I am sick of buying lettuce in bags at the supermarket. It's pretty much impossible to find lettuce right now without plastic, and I'm really missing homegrown greens. So I have these seeds that I saved from one of my other gardens. These are cos lettuce seeds, so I would like to start some of those. And I think I also want to start some spinach. So Bloomsdale long-standing spinach. This one here. I'm going to plant some of that. I will get planting on my kind of autumn winter crops maybe in a week or two. The things like broccoli, kale, cauliflower, cabbages, that kind of thing. I'm still holding on to some of the summer vegetables right now. I also saved a bunch of bush beans from the garden. So these are all I think they're called bush rooster bush bean, something like that at least. And these have really gorgeous speckled beans that you can save either for drying, like I saved all of these, or you can eat the green beans fresh when they're a little bit younger. So I think I'll go for some of those, and these I can all direct sow in the ground, which is really great. I don't have to start them. I'm gonna go through a little bit more of a rummage here, and then I will share everything else that I'm going to plant today. All right, I have had a good look through all of my seeds, as well as had some lunch and did some other work. So it's a little bit later in the day now, but I have picked out some seeds that I want to plant today. The first of which was those bush beans that you saw. I'm also going to plant some perpetual spinach and give this one a go again. This one you can plant, it says spring to autumn and winter in warmer regions. I'm going to plant a bunch of cos lettuce. I also found some basil seeds that I had saved, I think last year or the year before. It's still warm enough to get a crop of basil here, and the great thing about basil is even if you don't get the plant fully grown, you can still just pick it as microgreens. So that's what I'm going to do. I've picked out some zinnias. I'm just going to do one variety, peppermint stick. This one has the gorgeous kind of red and white speckled flowers. And then I have a bunch of saved seeds, as well as some more in a packet of everlasting daisy. And this is just a mixed variety, so hopefully will be a few nice different colors. I'm also going to try and start some lavender seeds. I haven't really had too much luck with lavender. Usually I just do cuttings, but I don't have a lavender plant here right now where I can get cuttings from. And I don't particularly want to go around to different parks and botanical gardens and take cuttings. So I'm going to try from seed, and if I have no luck, then I'll look into getting some cuttings. I also really want some sage in the garden because this is one of the main herbs that I like to cook with. I love cooking with sage in dinners. I'm also going to plant some sea celery, which is a native kind of parsley, celery type herb native to the south coast and a lot of other areas up and down the coast of Australia. And he's going back to bed. And I'm also going to be planting these seeds here. I've got beetroot, dill, some lettuce, and some French breakfast radish. And these seeds were sent from Jeff at Whipbird Environmental, who kindly sent these, and I will be working with him over the next few months. He's got a great small business doing a lot of environmental restoration projects and small gardens, both with native plants and other herbs and vegetables. And he has a great variety of seeds on his shop. So I will include down below all the information about Whipbird Environmental. If you're anything like me and you like supporting small Australian businesses, definitely make sure to check his page out and all of his social media. And because I'm working with him, I do have a discount code for you all if you would like to use it and support him out. So it's NaturePatch5. I'll put it on the screen as well as all of the information in the description box. But definitely let me know if you check out his products over there, or just go give him a follow and support as well. He's also got some really great seed saving envelopes on his website. They're a really nice size, they're nice and big, and they have a lot of room for you to write all over what the seeds actually are. So definitely make sure to go check out Whipbird Environmental. I only ever work with people and businesses that I believe in and would buy myself, particularly ones who have an environmental restoration focus and are interested in promoting people's connections to nature, particularly using native plants in the garden. So I'm really looking forward to this partnership. So I'm going to head down and prepare a little area to plant these seeds. I'm probably going to start some in pots, like some of the flowers and lavender and herbs. And then a lot of the greens I will probably just plant straight into the garden. So I'll share with you what all of that looks like. Right, I'm in the garage to do this bit because it is just a little bit too hot outside. I don't really have a lot of seed starting pots right now. So what I have done is actually just save a lot of containers from the kitchen, like yogurt containers, just little plastic food containers. And then what I'm going to do with these is just put some holes in them because they will need drainage, and use these to start a lot of my seeds. So I'm going to put some holes in these, trying not to break them, and then I will fill them up with some seed raising mix and then get planting. Alright, I am very hot after planting all of those plants that I did. I'll kind of give you an overview of what I just did in the garden to kind of wrap this video up. So I planted some radishes and some lettuce in little rows in the no-dig garden bed behind me there. And I've done this a few times before at other gardens, where basically what I do is just remove some of the mulch from the area, dig down to where the cardboard is and kind of poke a few holes in it to get a little bit more water flow in the area. and then I fill it in with a little bit of potting soil and then put the seeds in that. That way the seeds can germinate in that potting mixture while everything else is kind of decomposing around it. And that seemed to work pretty well so far. So what I did was I did a row of lettuce, I did a row of radishes, I also planted some spinach and some dill as well. So with the dill I just did a big circle and then filled it in with some potting mix and then put the seeds in, sprinkled a little bit of potting mix over the top and then a little bit of mulch just to keep the moisture in. Some of the other things that I did in the garden, I planted some more natives. I've kind of got 4 defined garden beds, and the one near the bottlebrush tree has got a lot of the natives in it so far because we get a lot of birds in the bottlebrush tree. I also did put a bird feeder in there, and we've been seeing some crimson rosellas in there every day. There's a pair that come and absolutely love it. So I'm excited to kind of create a little bit of a habitat in that area. But I did plant one grevillea on the corner, which is kind of like a ground cover grevillea. And then I planted 2 of these, which are, I never know how to pronounce this, scaevolas. They have a really nice purple kind of fan flower, and they grow to about 40 centimeters tall, 40 centimeters wide. And I put that next to the grevillea and the bird bath to kind of start to fill in that area. It is a little bit slow because I'm just getting plants as I get them. I don't really have, the money to buy hundreds of plants at once, but we are definitely making progress. Another thing that I did do this afternoon that I'll put a little bit of an overlay over, I planted some comfrey. Now we have some really old citrus trees on the property. I'm not sure if they're really going to make it or not, but that area down there is where I'm going to be having kind of a market style vegetable patch. Scott and I have already laid out just a little bit of black plastic to start the rows. We'll gradually move that down as the grass dies. But I really want to be having a lot of comfrey in that whole entire space. Comfrey is really great for building soil, making compost teas, and it's going to be a great mulch for all of those garden beds. So I brought down 4 that I had propagated from one of my other previous videos, and I planted them around one of the citrus trees. Again, I'm not sure if it's going to last or not, that tree, but at least I have some comfrey in the ground so that can get established and kind of form little rows here and there, so that when they all grow up at the same time, I can come through and cut them back and use the leaves wherever I want in the garden. I'll do a little garden walk around one morning for one video just to show you everything else that we have planted in the garden, because things are definitely changing and it's such a big space. So having a bit more of a garden tour may be a bit helpful to describe kind of what I'm doing. But I have all of those seeds that I started today ready for either this garden or the garden out the back, and lots more plans to plant in these garden spaces. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are in the world, and until my next one, happy gardening everyone. Bye.